by the National Assembly. This is a bill that was considered at the Senate and then moved to the National Assembly for consideration before coming back to the Senate. And there are amendments that the National Assembly moved with regards to this particular bill or the contents of the bill. And debate particularly on the considerations of the amendments already took place on the floor of the House. This is a motion that is moved by the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries. And this afternoon, it will be a resumption of that particular debate, which continued on the Wednesday, the 27th of November in the afternoon sitting, and a question will be put on whether the members of the Senate agree or have concluded the consideration of those amendments as moved by the National Assembly. You will recall that there has been a mediation committee that has been considering the revision of Revenue Amendment Bill, a bill that originated from the National Assembly, Bill number 38 of 2024. This is a bill that was considered by a joint committee regarded as a mediation committee to look into the concerns that the Senate raised as well as the National Assembly members raised, and this afternoon it will be considered. That is the Deputy Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Kathryn Murungi, already in the chambers. He will be presiding over this afternoon sitting. Allow me to hand you over to this live broadcast. Good afternoon.
Tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, twakusihi tutazame kwa neema nyingi na baraka sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutuita kwa nyadhifa za uongozi katika jamhuri hii yetu. Twakuomba utujalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri njema na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amina. Okay. Clerk, do you have quorum? Sergeant Adams, can reading the quorum bell for 10 minutes?
The prayer has been said and the chair taken. However, the House has not quorated for it to be able to commence its business. Of course, this is as provided for in the House Standing Order 39 and 40, that at the commencement of the House business, at least 15 members should be seated inside the chambers or present in the chambers. If that quorum is not present, then that quorum bell will be on, of course, to provide some room for the senators who may be within the precincts of Parliament, but yet to reach the chambers to be able to do just that. That is Senator Tabitha Mutinda and Senator Mundigi, who have just walked into the chambers we are waiting to find at least 15 senators as provided for in the law governing the House, or the rules governing the House. So once that quorum is achieved, the House will commence its business that is set out to be transacted this afternoon. So until then, the members will be making their way into the chambers. The report by the mediation committee that was considering the division of the revenue amendment bill, a bill that originated from the National Assembly, will this afternoon be considered, and this is a continuation of a debate that already kicked off on the floor of the House. And this is a motion that is moved by the Vice Chairperson, Mediation Committee. Remember, this debate has been on the floor of the House, and this afternoon the members will be seeking to approve that mediated version of the bill. We can see the leader of the majority party, Honorable Aaron Cheriot, trying to see whether the number has been achieved, or to try and understand how many members are currently inside the chambers. This is the Senator for Mombasa County, Honorable Faki, who has also walked into the chambers. If you're just joining us, is that the House is about to commence its business, just waiting to attain the quorum of at least 15 senators as provided for in the House Standing Orders. If that quorum is achieved, then they will, without any further delay, commence the business of the House. The Public Fundraising Appeals Bill, this is the bill also originating from the Senate, Bill number 36 of 2024, a bill that has been moved by the Senate Majority Leader, will this afternoon resume debate. This is a bill that seeks to provide for the establishment of regulatory mechanisms at the national and county levels which oversee the conduct of fundraising appeals, to provide for the licensing and regulation of fundraisers. Once the quorum is achieved, I will right away hand it over.
Can proceed. Clerk, call out the first one.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon a visiting delegation from the University of Denver's Joseph Colbell School of International Studies, United States. The delegation is in Nairobi for a research practicum under the Department of Diplomacy and International Studies, DDIS, at the University of Nairobi. This delegation, comprising graduate students and faculty members, are in the Senate on a one-day study visit. Honorable Senators, I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that they may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. 1, Dr. Abigail Kabandula, who is the Director, Africa Center at the Joseph Colbell School of International Studies, University of Denver. Professor Sigumbe Muyeba. Gracia Fernanda Castell. Alex Nelson. Catherine Victoria Tritilando. Julia Flagul. Vincent Zialak. Porter Julia Montgomery. Tobias Somers Ellison. Jacob Matthew Tonozi. Olga Nseli Muanda. Dr. Win Lugut. Noel Angelop. And last but not the least, Cynthia Wajiro. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome and wish you a fruitful visit. Thank you. Majority Leader, maybe in 1 minute you can.
Mr. Speaker.
To understand, those names are a bit complicated, not like Aaron. Okay, Aaron.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the Senate, I do welcome this visiting delegation from the University of Denver who are here, I want to believe, on a study tour in partnership with the University of Nairobi. I want to believe, Mr. Speaker, that in the time that they'll be here, they will get to interact with a very highly skilled technical staff, and also this afternoon witness debate, if you're going to have one, or us considering actually the various bills that are listed on today's order paper. Today being a Thursday, it's not one of those days when the House is pretty much full, but you can never tell with politicians what can happen in the next few minutes. So I don't want to speak too soon, but I want to welcome them. I hope they get to stay long enough to enjoy as we do our work. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate that they chose to visit with us here at the Senate. I wish them well in the remainder of their tour here in Parliament and in Kenya generally, and a safe flight back home when the time reaches. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mutida, why are you behaving like you know there's this group from the University of Denver? Is it that you want to welcome them as well? Yeah, 30 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I want to really welcome the students, not because I'm behaving in a way that I know them, but I'm just priding by the fact that I'm also an alumni of the University of Nairobi. It's the only university in this country that is called the. I'm still a student, and also, Mr. Speaker, the course, the specialization, that is international relations, is what I specialized when I was doing my master's at the University of Nairobi, and I really want to encourage them to pursue further. Education has no limit, and thank you so much for choosing to be here in Senate. We are going to have quite a lot in our order paper, so we look forward that you're going to learn a few. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order, Clerk.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Chairperson, Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. On behalf of the Chair, Labour Committee, Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, 28th of November, 2024, report of the Standing Committee on Labour and Social Welfare on its consideration of provision of sanitary towels bill, Senate Bill number 7 of 2024. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Okay, Honorable Senators, you have several statements and standing order 53-1. We start with the Senator for Marsabit County, Senator Mohamed Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I have a statement, a request for a statement on the status of development of estate in Likoni, Mombasa County. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing regarding the status of the development of estates in Likoni, especially on plot number Mombasa, /MS/Block 1, /1840 in Mombasa County City. Mr. Speaker, sir, in 2022, the county government of Mombasa initiated plans to redevelop estates in Likoni, including 2 estates owned by the county, namely Likoni Flats and Likoni Customs. which previously housed 348 families. The project was intended to be completed within 2 years through a partnership with Goldland Rinco Company Limited under a public-private partnership agreement. The county government committed to providing each family with Kenya shillings 250,000 to facilitate their relocation to pave way for the project whose delivery timelines was 2 years. However, to date, the project has not commenced, leaving the displaced residents inconvenienced. In the statement, the committee should, number one, clarify the terms of partnership between the county government of Mombasa and Goldland Rinco Company Limited and confirm whether the partnership complies with constitutional and legal requirements of public-private partnership. Question number two, provide details on the size of land occupied by the states and ownership status of the said land. Number three, outline measures implemented by the county government of Mombasa to support the allocated residents, given that the estimated 2-year project timeline has lapsed without progress. And finally, Honorable Speaker, number four, state the reason for the delay in the commencement of the project and provide a clear timeline for its completion. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next is Senator Joseph Giduku. He has 2 statements. Those statements are dropped. The third one is Senator Gloria Oroba, and I can see she has requested that statement to be deferred. Before we go to the statement and standing on the 57-1 by the majority leader, I can give Senator Mohamed Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii. Naona Senator Marsabit, Senator Chute ametoa statement kuhusiana na ujenzi wa manyumba katika maeneo ya Likoni. Mheshimiwa Spika, hakika Senator Chute hakutaka ushauri kutoka kwangu kuhusiana na statement hii. Na kwa hakika Senator Matinga, mwache Senator Chute asikize ninayosema. Na kwa hakika ni makosa kwa Senator kwenda kwenye gatuzi jingine na kuanza kutafuta miradi bila ya ushauri wa Senator muhusika. Kuna wakati katika bunge lililokwisha kulikuwa na Senator mteule hapa na sio Senator mteule, Senator West Pokot, Senator Bokisio na Senator Cherargei. Na Senator Cherargei alikuwa anazungumzia sana masuala ya West Pokot kuliko masuala ya Nandi. Na Senator Pogiso akasema kwamba kuna mdudu anaitwa mulmulwas anazunguka kila mahali. Kwa hivyo Senator Chute, usijokaa kama yule mulmulwas kwa siku za usoni, kwa sababu kila mtu ana gatuzi lake. Na kama hujatoa statement ya gatuzi la mtu mwingine, ni swala la kata sema ni heshima kwamba uzungumze na yule muhusika ili aweze kuwa at par na wewe wakati unatoa statement hiyo. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, niko na
Let's Senator Majority Leader 57-1.
Mr. Speaker, nothing captures what Senator Faki is saying better than what Senator Mudigi said a few weeks ago, that kila kitu ni Shute. Mr. Speaker, this is a statement of the business for the week that commences on Tuesday, the 3rd of December, 2024. Last week, actually, this year, finally. I cannot wait to break for recess, Mr. Speaker, and get to be with constituents and family. But we still have a week to go, members. So please hang in there. I know there's a temptation to start switching off, but I still need you guys here for another 1 week. Pursuant to Standing Order number 57-1, Mr. Speaker, this is the business that is before us. We have 54 bills that are pending conclusion, actually, of which 37 are at the second reading stage, and 17 are the committee of the whole stage. We have 27 motions, Mr. Speaker, that are pending conclusions as well. We have 26 petitions before our various committees. 21 of them are actually due for reporting by the various standing committees. It's my sincere hope, Mr. Speaker, that committee members can put in the hard work and give the reports of these petitions, preferably the 26 of them, but most importantly, the 21 that are already out of time. We have 439 statements that have been raised here or sought in pursuant to Standing Order number 53-1, and they are under consideration by the various committees, Mr. Speaker. And I want to believe that those that are ready should be processed so that members can receive the response. And if they are satisfied, we put the matter to rest. If not, Mr. Speaker, we canvass and debate on them. I wish to thank honorable senators for the debate on the motions of the President address to Parliament and the report on the Mediation Committee of the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, Senate National Assembly Bills number 38 of 2024. However, members, we are not yet done with the Division of Revenue. As what is pending on this matter is for division to be undertaken, I urge honorable members to remain in the Senate this afternoon. Members, I cannot overemphasize how important this bill is. The National Assembly, who ordinarily, our colleagues, you understand their view of devolution, have already concluded on this business. Here we are, Mr. Speaker, still hogging along. I know people have various views about this particular bill, Mr. Speaker, but we canvassed and said what needs to be done about it. So I want to request honorable senators to stay in the House this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, until we conclude particularly that order, Mr. Speaker. On Tuesday, the 3rd of December 2024, SBC will meet to consider business for the week. The tentative business for that day will include business not concluded from today's order paper, as well as business indicated in the notice paper. The tentative business for the morning and afternoon sittings on the Wednesday, 4th December 2024 will include business not concluded from the order paper on Tuesday, the 3rd of December 2024. And the following, which are these bills that actually are the second reading, and we propose to keep them priority: the Environmental Laws Amendment Bill, the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Amendment Bill, the County Oversight and Accountability Bill, County Civic Education Bill, the County Statistics Bill, Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, County Wards Equitable Development Bill, Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, the Livestock Protection and Sustainability Bill. Then there are these motions, Mr. Speaker. One is a report of the 9th IPU on the Global Conference of Young Parliamentarians that was held in Hanoi, Vietnam, from 15th to 17th of September 2023. This report has been in our papers, Mr. Speaker, for over a year, actually, and we need to conclude on it. Otherwise, the next conference will happen before we consider the report of the previous committee or gathering. There's a report also of the parliamentary delegation to the 2024 Joint United Nations IPU hearing held at the UN headquarters in New York, the US, in the US of A, from 8th to 9th of February 2024. Then there's a report of the ordinary session of the plenary assembly and related meetings for the Forum of Parliamentarians of the International Conference of the Great Lakes Region that was held in Livingstone, Zambia, in April of 2024. We also have a report of OACPS Parliamentary Assembly and the 43rd and 1st session of ACP EU Joint Parliamentary Assembly meetings held in Brussels, Belgium, Luanda, and Angola, respectively. Mr. Speaker, I'd add members that the end of a trip does not mean conclusion of business. All these reports, Mr. Speaker, there are members who consumed per diem and attended these gatherings. It is your business to come back to the House and table the report and make sure that it is passed. Otherwise, there will never be a record in this House that you actually traveled, apart from the boarding pass that you'll be carrying. Mr. Speaker, projected business for Thursday, 5th, which will be our last day of sitting this calendar year, God willing, unless maybe a certain county assembly decides to interrupt our long recess, as they have so often done during this month of recess, Mr. Speaker, will include the business that will not have concluded on Tuesday and Wednesday, Mr. Speaker. And the SBC has also proposed that we conclude on the following motions, which are the report on the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations, on its inquiry into the personal security concerns raised by Philomena Kapkori, who's a Deputy Governor of Trans Nzoia County. Mr. Speaker, I hope in the report, Mr. Speaker, Senator Abbas's committee has led us into doing something better than just security concerns of this Deputy Governor, but look into an obvious space of challenge.
Just a minute, Senator Aaron Chiliot.
Yes.
Senator Chalgei. Yes. This is the same thing you are doing in the Senator Pokisio last parliament. How can you just cruise from Nandi to West Pokot without even noting there? Can you walk to the high and then you bow?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senator Cherargei needs to know this is not Chapter Y market where you just walk around, Mr. Speaker, haphazardly. Mr. Speaker, there is also the report of the Standing Committee on Devolution into the inquiry in the state of markets in Vihiga and Bungoma County, arising from a statement raised by Senators Osotsi and Senator Wakoli. There is a progress report on the NCI National Cohesion and Equal Opportunities and Regional Integration Committee on the diversity and inclusivity of staff composition of the state agencies. This is a very important report, Mr. Speaker. Why do I say this report is important? It is important because, Mr. Speaker, this is one of the things that we asked this committee led by Senator Chute to look into at the height of the motion that we passed here after the invasion of Parliament in June. So I hope they have done a good report together with legislative proposals on how to equalize employment opportunities for all Kenyans from all walks of life, from all the 47 counties, Mr. Speaker. And if they haven't done that, we need to return them back to work to ensure that they do actually that in compliance with what that motion required of them. We also have a report on the Standing Committee on Energy on the challenge of power purchase agreements, renewals, and electricity supply in Kenya. I know Senator Matinga is about to exit the chairmanship of Energy Committee to concentrate more on taking care of our welfare as our newly sworn-in commissioner, Mr. Speaker. But this is one business that he still owes to the House, Mr. Speaker. Power purchase agreements remain to be extremely controversial in this country. The fact that we continue to purchase power at an exorbitantly high price, Mr. Speaker, yet year after year, if you go to the office of the Minister for Energy, Mr. Speaker, you will see a long list of people actually who put in applications to do power exploration, far more cheaper power from either geothermal, wind, solar, Mr. Speaker. But because of these existing arrangements, Mr. Speaker, Kenyans continue to buy power at an expensive price. And I hope that our Energy Committee, the man or the woman that will take up that mantle, Mr. Speaker, the bullseye of a trophy for Senate belongs to them eventually being able to unravel that mystery, Mr. Speaker, and ensure that we guide the country into an effective and affordable power for all citizens. That is a challenge. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I may as well leak that if somebody was to write a dissertation, then I may favorably consider that person to replace Senator Matinga on that topic specifically. Finally, in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, there are critical businesses that are pending for consideration. We have the mediation reports inter alia on equalization fund, on the county government's additional allocation. Mr. Speaker, I must report, Mr. Speaker.
Under Senators, Senator Medu. Yes, sir. I can hear your voice from my right side.
Mr. Speaker, I must report to the House that over lunch hour today, somebody who sits in the county government's additional allocations mediation committee pointed out a very serious concern to me, that the members, out of the 9 members that we sent to that committee, they have so far had 2 meetings, and in both meetings, only 3 members have attended. Mr. Speaker, this is an extremely important bill, and you know what it means for county governments. Therefore, I want to reiterate before the entire House that if we grant you the opportunity to represent us in a mediation committee, you cannot treat it like an ordinary committee, Mr. Speaker. We have sent you there to put the perspective on behalf of all the 47 devolved units of this country, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I want to urge members that they take their work seriously. I commit, Mr. Speaker, to push because it is my sincere hope that before we break for recess on the 5th of December, we will actually have concluded on this particular business, because this is more than 60 billion Kenya shillings that deserves to go to our county governments, Mr. Speaker, which unfortunately, before the consideration of this mediation report, we cannot unlock. The above may have an impact on the program for business next week. Accordingly, we will make necessary adjustments. Mr. Speaker, I thank you and hereby lay this statement on the table of the Senate this afternoon. I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Harlan Cheluot, the majority leader. Actually, you mentioned something very, very important to the members. Not besides these IPU and OACPS conferences, to the chairs of committees when I'm on this chair, like if your committee makes a trip, within 2 weeks, that committee should table their report here so that we can see whether we are getting value for money on these trips. So chairs, take note, and this has gone on record. When I served at the National Assembly, that is what we used to do. Therefore, chairs, you are well advised. Senator Fatuma Duro, can you read your statements, the 2 of them? Okay, Tuesday next week, fine. Next order. Honorable Senators, under Senator Buzz, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon, a visiting delegation of 23 students leaders from the Kenyatta University. The delegation is in the Senate for a one-day academic exposition. Honorable Senators, on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome and wish them a fruitful visit. I thank you. I'm looking for alumni of Kenyatta University. Kenyatta. Senator Kisang, were you at the Kenyatta University? KU? Yeah? Now you are don't qualify. You are not a good example. Who is that? Okay, Senator Beatrice.
I've already stood. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. For giving me the opportunity to welcome the team from my alma mater University, KU University. You know, recently, Honorable Speaker, Kenyatta University was vetted and rated the top university in the country. And I was there between 1988 28 of August 1988, Honorable Speaker, and I left March 28, 1991. I was there under 3 years because during that time the universities were very stable. There were no strikes. And I want to tell them I did double maths, statistics and computer science, and I did very well. And I want to wish you well. I know you are student leaders, and I believe some of you in the near future, you will be in this house and also the other house, and some of you will be governors. I don't know if you are still going to K1. You know, there was a famous place we used to call K1. I don't know if you still go there. We used to go to Ruiru. The estate across the university, they call it, there was no estate there opposite Kawa Barracks. Kawa Barracks actually, Honorable Speaker, and Kenyatta University was one. The military used to cross to Kenyatta University to practice. We used to go to barracks to enjoy ourselves. So we were like a team, but you know, because of your numbers, I think they have closed that small place we used to go across. Enjoy yourselves and do well, behave, get disciplined, and you'll go places. Thank you very much. Professor Mukenda did very well for the university.
Thank you. Next. Senator Beatrice Ogora, 1 minute.
Honorable Speaker, I thank you for granting me the chance. I happened also to have done my second degree at Kenyatta University then. And Honorable Speaker, just to tell the students that leadership is so universal. You are on the right track. Senator Kisang reminds me of Kilometer 1, where a number of us would spend only 20 shillings per day to survive. So whatever you are going through and any other student is not only extraordinary to you. We have all been there. We welcome you into leadership. All we ask you is that be the leaders that this country aspires to have. Help everybody take this country to the next level and let us have one happy republic called Kenya. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Order number 8, motion. Consideration of the National Assembly amendments to the Cotton Industry Development Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2023. Resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 27th November 2024, afternoon sitting. Question to be put.
Honorable Senators, this debate was concluded yesterday, and now I want to ascertain whether we have quorum to put the question. Honorable Senators, I put the question that the National Assembly amendments to the Cotton Industry Development Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2023, be now considered. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next on the clerk.
Order number 9, motion. Report of the Mediation Committee on the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 38 of 2024. Resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 27th November 2024, afternoon sitting, division.
Honorable Senators, on this particular motion or order, we are going to the division. And I request the Sergeant at Arms to ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
Division. The Speaker has directed that division bell be rung. This is for the senators to prepare themselves to take a vote on the mediation committee report with regards to the division of revenue amendment bill, a bill that originated from the National Assembly. However, the controversy with regards to the monies allocated to the counties that members had differed on the amount led to the establishment of the mediation committee, or a joint committee with members from the National Assembly as well as members from the Senate. The mediation committee was co-chaired by the Mandera Senator Ali Roba and the Kiharu Member of Parliament, Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, that is from the National Assembly, for the members to be able, or for the committee to be able to consider the total amount that will be allocated to the counties for the 2024-2025 financial year. And this is a mediation committee, or a report that saw the two committees that formed the mediation committee unanimously agreed to allocate 387 billion to the county governments. It was a decision that was reached after extensive deliberations in a number of days that the mediation committee sat to at least come to terms or come to a consensus on how much the counties will be getting or will be sharing in the budget. Now, as the division bell is on, once the members are back, this is a vote that will be taken electronically for the members to be able to approve that mediated version of the bill. Earlier on, senators had requested for a total of 400 billion to go to the counties. However, the National Assembly had allocated a lower amount, but the senators had requested for 400 billion. And that disagreement led to that establishment of the committee, and the agreement that came out of that committee was that at least 387 billion be taken to the counties. So this afternoon, this is a bill that was part of the bills that Parliament had been requested to conclude on or expedite as fast as possible to enable the counties receive monies. Remember, as governors have been lamenting that counties do not have monies, or there is a cash crunch at the counties. Of course, one of the issues being the delays by the Treasury or Exchequer to disburse the monies to the county governments. And of course, the other issue being the fact that right now that equitable share for the county had not been agreed on, but the mediation committee came to a consensus on that amount. And this afternoon, the Senate will have to approve, or will take a vote to approve that amount that will now be going to the counties for service delivery as well as development in some of these sectors. The vote this is a vote that will require a total of 24 senators to agree with the position that the mediation committee, or rather the team that represented the Senate, agreed on. Some of the members of the Senate that were representing the Senate at the committee include Senator Veronica Maina, Edwin Sifuna, Eddie Okech, Wahome Wamatinga, Senator Mohamed Faki, Senator Richard Onyonka, Senator Danson Mungatana, who were led by the chair, that is the Mandera Senator Ali Roba, who chairs the Finance Committee at the Senate. So these members agreed with their counterparts at the National Assembly that the counties can be allocated the 387 billion. And this is a report that the team has brought to the fellow senators of the House for them to be able to approve that decision that the team from the Senate and the team from the National Assembly agreed on with regards to monies that was to be sent to the counties for service delivery as well as development plans. Remember, this particular mediation committee, or this particular initiative, came about following the withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024-2025, which was a key factor in the mediated position. Members ventilated on this particular report, some of them indicating that the counties need to improve on their own source revenue. Also issues to do with wastage, curbing of wastage, as well as doing away with corrupt deals that may deprive of the benefits, or the residents the benefits of the monies that have been sent to the counties for purposes of service delivery to the mwananchi at the mashinani level. So this is a report that was already tabled on the floor of the House. Members deliberated on it, and this afternoon it is a vote that will be taken on whether they will be approving or agreeing with the team that represented them at the mediation committee on approving that mediated version of the bill, which the senators earlier on had requested for more than 400 billion, where the National Assembly earlier on had indicated 391, but in this mediated version, then it was agreed that they will be receiving 387. So that is a vote that the senators will be taking this afternoon. It is a business that needs to be dispensed with as fast as possible, as had been indicated by the majority leader, or the leader of the majority party earlier on, as he read out the businesses that still awaits the senators ahead of the long recess. The senators will be adjourning next week on Thursday for a long recess. And that bell, once that bell is off, then I will be handing you over to the voting. The members will be seeking whether to approve, that is to agree or not to agree with that particular report. But as is, perhaps their options are limited. It is a vote that will be taken through. All right. Let's listen in to the
business that we must transact today.
division bell is still on. Remember, the business that is on the floor of the House currently is a consideration of the motion on the report of the Mediation Committee on the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, a bill that indicates the monies that will be sent to the counties for the 2024-2025 financial year. There were disagreements between the two houses, that is the National Assembly and the Senate, on the monies that were to be sent to the counties. And that particular misunderstanding led to the formation of the mediation team, a team that was formed by members from the Senate as well as members from the National Assembly to consider the various opinions that had been proposed or tabled by the different members of the two houses with regards to the monies that is to be sent to the counties. Remember, the Senator's mandate is to oversight the functions of the counties as well as enable the counties be well funded in terms of monies that will be used in service delivery as well as development. And therefore, earlier on, they had proposed a total of 400 billion, which once the bill was moved back to the National Assembly, the National Assembly did not agree with those amendments, and that necessitated the formation of the mediation bill for the two houses to try to come to a consensus on the amounts that the counties will be receiving. So that is a division bell. That particular report was already tabled on the floor of the House and members ventilated on it, giving their opinions with regards to the monies and with regards to the functions of the counties. And this afternoon, as is the process, there has to be a vote that is to be taken. The motion that has been moved by the Vice Chairperson Mediation Committee is for the Senate to adopt that report of the Mediation Committee on the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill that was laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 26th of November, the year 2024. And of course, further approve that mediated version of the bill. The monies that the mediation committee agreed on was 387 billion. And that is the amount that, as the senators take a vote this afternoon, would mean will be sent to the counties for the counties to be able to make use of those monies for their service delivery as well as development. So if you're just joining us, is that is a division bell. It is a division that will be done by way of electronic voting. And of course, as the members take that particular vote, we'll be able to project the screen on how the voting is taking place. At least 24 members have to approve or have to agree with the position of the mediation committee or the mediation team that represented the House at the mediation committee. During that debate to consider the report, Members aired their opinions. Areas such as matters to do with curbing wastages of the monies, eliminating corruption, as well as early disbursement or timely disbursement of the funds from the exchequer were some of the issues that came out. Also, counties improving their ways of on-source revenue to be able to supplement that budget that comes from the exchequer. Some of the issues that came up. Once that a bell is off for indicating that the division or the members are ready to go into division, then we will, without any further delay, hand it over to the House to take that vote. But that is a division bell for the members to be able to come and vote on that motion, where the team that represented the Senate at the Mediation Committee wants the House to adopt as well as approve that mediated version of the bill. Once the voting takes place, is that each delegation shall have one vote to be cast on behalf of the county. That is by the head of the county delegation. In the absence of the head of the delegation, by another member of the delegation designated by the head of the delegation. And these are senators representing each county. Remember, the Senate has the mandate not only to oversight the counties or county governments, but also to look into the welfare in terms of allocations that would enable the counties perform optimally with regards to service delivery to the mwananchi at the mashinani level. Also be able to fund the functions that have been moved to the county governments. Also monies that would cater for the recurrent expenditures of the counties. So their position in the monies that is sent to the counties is very, very pertinent as well as vital in order to assist the members or the governors perform their duties. At the devolved units. That is a division bell currently on. The members are about to take a vote at the division stage of the consideration of the report of the Mediation Committee on the Division of Revenue. A bill that has seen the monies go down by close to 13 billion. Earlier on, the position of the Senate was for the counties to get around 400 billion. A position that the National Assembly did not agree with. owing to the withdrawal as well over the finance bill 2024-2025,
Tirinda,
which has been
Approach the
cited as after the withdrawal of that finance bill posed a challenge in the revenue raising measures that had been proposed by the government in funding the budget for the 2024-2025 financial year. And these are some of the concerns that had been raised by the National Assembly members who had sponsored the bill, proposing that the monies that the senators are requesting for the devolved units, and owing to the challenges that had been posed by the withdrawal of the finance bill, that amount that the senators had requested for will be a challenge for the exchequer to be able to fund the county governments. That disagreement led to the establishment of the mediation committee to be able to bring their thoughts together and opinions in order for that agreement to be reached at on how much the counties will be getting. Currently, the counties have, or rather governors, have been decrying over a cash crunch at the counties, and therefore consideration and conclusion of this particular bill that will pave way for the monies to be moved to the counties for their operations is very, very important. The Senate is set to adjourn for a long recess next week, so as had been indicated by the leader of the majority party on the urgency to dispense